John Steinbeck's Cannery Row. Now this is not the most popular John Steinbeck book. Usually East of Eden is the one that always comes up. Of Mice and Men, Grapes of Wrath, those are the ones you seem to hear about all the time. The only person I've ever heard referencing this one, Cannery Row, was Stephen Erickson. And Stephen Erickson was also of the opinion that, yeah, you should definitely read this if you want to see like descriptions and stuff. The further descriptions that John Steinbeck uses in this. And Stephen Erickson was not lying, which I'm a big surprise there. It's from the beginning, it's clear how fascinating, interesting. It feels like it does the James Joyce thing of like this exceptional, vivid, and unique way of illustrating something like through words, to bring this image up. But it doesn't do that in the way where you're like, wait a minute, what is he talking about? No, you know exactly what he's talking about. You know exactly what he's referring to. But he gives it this magical element in it. The descriptions are fascinating and interesting. Steinbeck is an amazing writer, and if this is the book that's not even that famous by him, like, how good are those others? Because this is exceptional. It is exceptional. It was such a treat to read. I was flying through this. There was a times that I didn't even want to pick up some of the other stuff because I was so interested in what happened here. The characters in here, Doc, great character. Mac and the boys, Lee Chong. The way he goes into the characters, and it's a small story about this place, Cannery Row, in Monterey, California. If you don't know where Cannery Row is, it's in Monterey, California. All the characters also, and it's kind of like, yeah, it's characters on the periphery of society in many ways, but endearing and wonderful. It is in many ways, it is such a sweet story, and the events that they did, I really enjoy the events. It is also funny. The characters can be adorable and a pain in your ass at something. Like, yeah, you idiots, you're being idiots now. It feels like almost this magical world you enter in, even though it's based on a real place, based on real kind of characters, I guess. And the fascinating and the interesting things that were going on. How wonderful. I can't even remember her name, but there's like the adult entertainment house. We're just gonna call it that. It's so great and fascinating, and really just a beautiful story of beautiful characters that make you feel. It has these shocking moments, and the way he illustrates and the events that should be like. I mean, if you just wrote out just straight up what happened, it would not necessarily be that interesting. But the way they do it and the way every sequence is, a small thing feels like an event. He makes something small and innocuous feel like an event. And then it shows you the beauty in it and the fascination in it and everything. And in these characters and how they go about their life. It's basically, most of the story deals around Mac and the boys, which is basically a bunch of bums. They're a bunch of bums that works now and then, but they're not really. They want to give. They want to show a celebration to Doc. Doc is kind of like, they call him Doc because he kind of works like a doctor for the community, even though he's not a doctor. He's more of a scientist, research guy. Yeah. And it's kind of like, he's got a bunch of stuff like, but Doc is just the nicest guy, and they want to have a party for Doc because he's such a nice guy and go on an adventure. And now they have to get the stuff to be the party, so they have to go do some work. Now they get everybody in, how the whole community comes around this, but how it also falls apart at times and then comes back together, and like it takes twists and turns you wouldn't expect. Really great, really beautiful, even funny in the lyrics at times. Beautiful characters, sad, poignant, vivid, even quite shocking at times. Characters fascinating, interesting. It was like being transported into a world. And what I also liked is so there's like the main story of the main characters going along, but then there's small chapters between the bigger chapters, which just goes on like this small little side thing, interesting thing happening in the area of Cannery Row. And what does that have? And just paints this like Cannery Row becomes a character. It really is a character. The place is a character in its own right. It feels almost like an organism. Cannery Row feels like an organism, and everybody has a role. That all the people that live there is like either an organ or a cell or like a parasite or a blood vessel that all goes into what is this organism, whether it's good for organisms, bad for organisms, and how that. If this is one of Steinbeck's lesser known work, I really could not wait to read it. It blew my mind. I would highly advise it, and it's such a quick read and fascinating. But he packs so much into this. Don't think it, and then there are such fun and joyous events that make you laugh, enjoy them. And I don't want to talk too much about any of them, but it is so much fun because it's like they're often something you won't definitely not expecting, just suddenly stumbles into the thing, and man, it leaves you. There is like often it leaves you dreading, and then at times it leaves you with a real warm feeling. So I ended up feeling a really warm feeling at the end of this. Even though I wouldn't say it's necessarily a fully happy story, but no, I would recommend this so highly. John Steinbeck is a master. I already read the book of Mice and Men. Now I'm hoping to when I see East of Eden somewhere at a reduced price, because I have a lot of stuff written and I'm gonna get. But I mean, give me a nice looking cover of East of Eden, I'm buying that thing immediately. I want to get into a lot more John Steinbeck. That hit hard. Cannery Row hit hard. It really got me. I wouldn't say I cried, but it was some sniffles. I had some sniffles at times reading that.